Know-it-all listeners, Pittsburgh Steelers fans. Thanks everybody for joining me, Tate, your boy Tate, the big homie, for joining me for Tate Strong Take. Typically during the season, I'll talk about on this short weekly show. I'll talk about things regarding the Pittsburgh Steelers and what a strong take I have on what I think they should do, change up, all kind of stuff regarding those type of takes from me. Today, no football being played yet. We ready to go. Football season starts tomorrow. Cowboys versus Eagles in Philly. Looking forward to that. Getting some NFL football back in our life. College has been good for the first couple of weeks, but nothing like that meaningful NFL football. It'll be happening for us soon. But today, on today's short pod, I want to talk about, and it's that because it's NFL season, we all know it's fantasy football season, right? So I want to give a few thoughts, answer any questions anybody has about any fantasy football, but thoughts I have about some of the Pittsburgh Steeler fantasy football options today. Players, uh, units like the Steeler defense, um, and just whatever questions we have. What if I see value in anybody and stuff like that. So we'll get started here in just a second. Give a few people time to join us and acknowledge and address those that are already here. Appreciate each and every one of you. Let's shout out some of the folk in the building already. Steeler Lee, what's happening? Shout out to you. Appreciate you stopping by. Jay Steve, Danny Littlejohn, what up, Danny? Reg Rivers, coming at us from the 901 Bartlett, Tennessee. Shout out Reg. Morning, Jay Steve. Appreciate it. Tim, love the Hurley hat. Thanks, man. Appreciate it. I was so against, man. I'm old school, right? Well, I know Tim. You got old jokes all the time. But I was new era fitted hat. I gotta wear a fitted hat. Got some different hat options up here. Got my bucket hat, got a Steeler bucket up here. Got the Pittsburgh Pirate fitted, new era fitted. I was all fitted, like that's what we wore back in the day. But I recently and I got ordered a couple more. Got a Pittsburgh Steeler, a couple Pittsburgh Steeler, the snapback variety. I like the snapback. I like the way it fits. I like the way it sits up on your head. So I can really appreciate that. But thanks, Tim. So got some more snapbacks in the building. A couple Pittsburgh Steelers on the way. Ordered them yesterday. Yesterday was my birthday. My birthday was yesterday. 53rd birthday. I'm so blessed. A lot is, went on this year. I was, if some of you didn't know, for the previous time, ever since I've been doing podcasts with you guys and stuff like that, I was on dialysis for 6.5 years. Got a transplant last October. It's my first birthday after having had the transplant. Obviously, last year, my birthday was the same day for the past 53 years. I turned 53. But I had the transplant last October, so I'm a month away from a year. Doing well. I'm blessed. Appreciate, all the well wishes and everybody that knew about it for helping me along the way, the journey with positive energy and support and all those things, man. Appreciate everybody. I have so much to be thankful for. So another birthday, number 53. Shout out to everybody that, rocks with me, that is there for me, supports me, and loves me. Thank everybody. Steeler Girl 808, morning to you. Damian Tate in the building. My brother said I got my swagger back. Appreciate it, bruh. Uh, Tim says it's almost time for me to get my senior discounts, 55. Okay, Tim. Okay, Tim. Yeah, I mean, I know where I'm at. I know where B Dirt is at. So I know you're not too far behind. You might have another 5 or 6 years, but like my dad and grandparents and all the 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 older people in my life and family above, and they said keep on living, man. Just keep on living. Man, Jay Steve, fellow Virgo. Shout out, Jay. Yours the fourth, man. I got a cousin who's the fourth. Definitely Virgo, man. Virgos are great people. Some of the best people are Virgos, man. But I'm sure everybody feels that way about their time. Tim say 6 years till he gets his discount. So you was 6 years from now. Not till 2031, Tim. So you 40, yeah, you 49. You and my brother the same age. You my brother and B Dirt. Appreciate it, Big B. Appreciate the birthday shout, man. Thanks for the acknowledgement. Definitely appreciate it, man. You know, I'm an OG. You know, you and you and Big G, man. Y'all my little homies, man. I I'm pretty sure Big G older than you. I'm older than Big G by 3 weeks, but man, shout out to you. Check you guys out last night. Good stuff, man. But so any fancy questions on your marks, get set, get ready, go. But as far as the Steelers fantasy options go, right? Let's talk about that briefly. We had our fantasy draft the other night. We had it on the Know-It-Alls channel. Everybody was kind of engaged in the draft and stuff, so the production aspect of it didn't go as we thought it might go, but still was content. It was fun to do. A lot of banter back and forth and stuff like that. I picked 10 in my fantasy football draft. I went running back heavy. I'll tell you my team before we get out of here. But as far as the Steelers go, I have a few Steelers on my team, right? I was able to draft Jalen Warren. I went running back heavy. This was Sunday night. We always have our fantasy football draft the Sunday before Labor Day, which is typically the Sunday before football starts the next week. So we always have it for this is year 11, actually. I have 2 championships. I'm always in the playoffs, though. 11 years, so 10 seasons under our belt, 12 teams, 4 teams make the playoffs. I've made the playoffs every year except one. We don't have any toilet bowl, none of that nonsense. Either you win or you lose. First place gets money, second place gets money. Everybody else, you go home disappointed. Even if you made the playoffs, you don't get rewarded for making the playoffs. You get rewarded for making the championship game. So yeah, I've made the playoffs every year but one. That was the year I did make the playoffs. Was the year Russell Wilson first went to Denver, and I drafted Russ as my quarterback. I thought Russ was going to have a breakout year in Denver, and if you remember that year, Russ didn't play well. Kind of like he kind of played that year like he played the last half of his starts in Pittsburgh last year. But yeah, so fancy draft was the other night. I have Jalen Warren, who I believe I got in I think I took the Steeler defense before I got Jalen Warren. I don't know why Jalen Warren was sitting there. Needless to say, I was really happy that Jalen Warren got a contract extension this week. Was it Monday or was it Tuesday? I think it was maybe Monday. Actually, Labor Day itself was rewarded with a deal, $17 million extension added to this current contract. I believe it'll pay him like close to $6 million per season for the next 3 seasons. I think that's good value for a starting running back. Definitely for a starting running back. I mean, I think we'll see Caleb Johnson obviously phased in and used quite a bit. But I also feel that the fact that the Steelers have committed to Jalen Warren means for my fantasy football team is that he's going to get some opportunities. He's going to get some usage. I don't know if he'll get RB1 usage, but I see him getting definitely a solid RB2 option. I think he'll be used in the passing game. Can certainly appreciate that. We play in a half-point PPR league. You get half point per reception. So, those additional touches will translate into points, yards after catch. I think Arthur Smith likes to use the screen game. Steeler league. Excuse me. When I share my team, you drafted Omarion Hampton for your squad. I have Omarion Hampton too. Drafted him. I went rookie heavy, as a matter of fact. My first pick was Ashton Genty. I picked number 10 out of 12. I picked Ashton Genty, then double back. My next pick, I took Josh Jacobs out of Green Bay. And I think I went 3 running backs in a row because my very next pick, I took Omarion Hampton. My receivers kind of suck. Not pleased really with them. But so back to Jalen Warren. I think he'll be good value for RB2 flex position. So I'm pleased with his addition to my squad. Other Steeler best options, probably better than Jaylen Warren. I just mentioned Jaylen Warren first because he's on my team. DK Metcalf. I think DK Metcalf and B Dirt drafted DK Metcalf in our league for the Steelers. I think DK was a good pick, probably wide receiver 10-ish in fantasy football, I'd say. I think as far as wide receivers on the Steelers go, he's the number one target. He sees not all, the majority of the passes to the wide receiver position. I think he'll have a good season. So I think he's a good option. Aaron Rodgers and DK are building a rapport, a chemistry with one another. I like that. So yeah, he's probably a solid wide receiver too. Not that he's not a great wide receiver, because I think he is. Tim's comment, I took Steelers defensive fantasy football. They better not let me down. I took him too, Tim. And like I said, I think I took him in the 5th or 6th round. I wanted him on my team because in our league, defense is so impactful, because defense gets points for splash plays. Like if you hold a team under 7 points, you get like 6 points, 7 or under. If you shut them out, you get a 10-point bonus. Like, I mean, defense factors in quite a bit in the league that we're in. Okay, Tim got him in the 6th round too. I think that's a solid pick. I think that's where I got him. And TJ Watt's my defensive player. We got one individual defensive player. I expect TJ Watt to be freed up to have a TJ Watt season. I thought about taking Peyton Wilson. I think he's going to have a big season too. But right now I'm sticking with TJ. But I think DK is a solid wide receiver too. And not because he's not one of the most talented wide receivers in the league, because of what I expect the Steelers offense to be trying to accomplish this year, trying to do. Those wide receiver targets, like I said, that are thrown will go to DK, but how many will they throw? I don't know. I'm not sure that part of it. But I think DK is a good pick. Probably not sure where B Dirt got him. Probably could have got him end of to early 3rd rounds where I see him going. So definitely I think a good pick. Quarterback, Aaron Rodgers. Aaron Rodgers is still in our league in the free agency pool. I think that's where he'll be. I think if he starts out hot, first 2 or 3 games is showing up, I think somebody will go in and put in a waiver claim and pick Aaron Rodgers up, but didn't want to start with Aaron Rodgers. I mean, he could have a heck of a bounce back season and just be spreading the ball all around to all his different playmaking options. They could have a really big season. I know he's the best quarterback the Steelers have had since prime Big Ben. I believe even right now at age 41, I believe he's the best quarterback option the Steelers have had running their offense since prime Big Ben. Not even Wash Big Ben. Wash Big Ben, we got to 11-0, but he was short dinking and dumping, getting the ball off quick. We didn't have a good offensive line, so that offense was a mess. We haven't had a competent offense in Pittsburgh for probably the last 4 or 5 seasons for sure. So I think Arthur Smith has the pieces and stuff. I think he'll really do something this year. I think the offense will be a net positive. I'm expecting them to finish in the top 15. Expectation with an offense that hasn't really played together. Young offensive line, young but talented offensive line. Change the running back room up. The addition of DK. I like that. Now, so after DK, let's talk about the tight ends. And when we're talking about the tight ends, and we know the Steelers have 3 tight ends over around a lot of 13 personnel. But the fact that they have so many good tight ends and go run so much 13 personnel where all the tight ends on the field makes it difficult to know who the guy is in the Steelers tight end room. With that being said, you got Pat Freiermuth, Jonnu Smith, and Darnell Washington. I think Darnell Washington is still a free agent in our league, and I expect him to be that unless we see early he starts getting a tremendous amount of red zone targets and stuff like that, because then his value obviously increases. Because if he's a main target in the red zone, we're talking touchdowns. So that would obviously increase his value. Pat Fryermuth and Jonnu Smith, I think both individually great tight ends, but the fact that they'll be on the field quite a bit together kind of devalues both of them. In our fantasy league, Big G has Jonnu Smith. Like I'm playing Big G this week, so I know, I'm looking at the matchups. I know Jonnu Smith is projected to get like 6 point something points this week, as to where I have Brock Bowers for the Raiders, who I believe was my third pick, maybe my fourth pick. I said I went running back. So yeah, I got Brock Bowers. I'm pleased with that. He was the Pro Bowl All-Pro tight end last year in his rookie season. I think the Raiders offense will feature him heavily along with Ashton Genty. So as far as my fantasy football team, I'm leaning a lot on Austin Genty and Brock Bowers because my receivers are ass. And we'll talk about that when we get to it. But yeah, so Fryermuth went later than Jonnu Smith. I don't remember who took Pat Fryermuth, but great option, great tight end. Just the value is diminished because that Jonnu was on the team and Darnell Washington's on the team. There's no way to really know which tight end is going to get the targets, get the opportunity, get that work, so to speak. You know what I mean? Because that's what I value in fantasy football. I value work and opportunity more than I do production, because I feel like for players getting the ball, getting targets, getting receptions, then I feel like they're at some point the dam's going to break. They keep getting targets, keep getting opportunities, keep getting catches, keep getting the ball hand off to them. They're going to break something. So, I'd rather a player that touches the ball 15 to 20 times a game than drafting a dude that's a one-trick pony that can get you a 60, 70-yard touchdown once a game. Yeah, when that hits, that really hits. But I'm more about the opportunity cost, the opportunity of my guys getting chances to make plays more than my guys making the occasional big play. So Pat Fryermuth, Jonnu Smith, like them both. I think they're both really, really good tight ends. But in terms of fantasy football, they kind of cancel each other out, diminish each other's value, so to speak. Steelers other wide receiver, Calvin Austin, Roman Wilson. Those guys are both still in free agency in our league. Both of them like right behind each other as far as the ranking of available free agent wide receivers. You got Roman Wilson, you got Calvin Austin right under him. Both projected to get like 6.5 points this week against the Jets. And again, same reason, Fryermuth and Jonnu will be used probably more than Roman Wilson and Calvin Austin. Roman Wilson is a solid number 3. Steelers are going to bump him up to probably a number 2, unless they make a move, which I don't see happening now, unless the trade deadline hasn't happened yet. I think Roman Wilson is a solid number 2. Solid number 3, but he's going to play number 2. But when he plays, he'll be a possession receiver, maybe get the ball, but probably they'll go to DK, Pat Fryermuth, Jonnu Smith in that order. You could maybe split Fryermuth and Jonnu around, AB or AB either way, BA, as far as who's going to command more targets in particular games. But all 3 of those guys, DK, Pat, Jonnu, will get more targets than Roman Wilson. Calvin Austin has big play capability. I like his big play capability. But yeah, that's risky, right? I mean, you can't count on a big play every game. I think at best he's a 4. His high end for receptions, I think, in a game, he won't get more than 6. I expect him to live around that 3-4 range. Now it could be for some big plays, some screen, some wide receiver screens, some short crossing patterns, some jet sweeps. I expect both those guys to get those opportunities, but they're not plentiful. Again, I'm more about touches, targets, and opportunities than I am about just the big play, explosive play. Um, so Roman Wilson and Calvin Austin are both still in the free agent. And I really believe Caleb Johnson, he was drafted uh, probably like the seventh or eighth round. A Browns fan in our league actually drafted Caleb Johnson. I think he'll get his opportunity. He's I think he'll be a short yardage back. He'll get his the way I see the Steelers division of labor divided up as far as the backfield. I see Jalen Warren probably getting 65% of the opportunity. That leaves another 35% left. I see that 35% being split between Caleb Johnson and Kenneth Gainwell. So it's just like not a 1-2. Kenneth Gainwell is also available in free agency in our league. It's going to be an integral part of the offense. They'll use him, they'll line him up in the slot. So if you want an X factor, I would go Kenneth Gainwell over Calvin Austin and maybe even Roman Wilson because I think he'll get more touches out the backfield, screen passes. They'll hand it off to him sometime. So he'll get more touches than those guys because you have to count the handoffs inside of that. Those guys will probably get more targets, but Kenneth Gainwell will make more opportunity of his targets because they're more likely to be short patterns. And he's a really good receiver at Memphis. He played both running back and receiver. And I think that's the role the Steelers will have for him as we go into this 2025 season, starting this Sunday against the New York Jets. So I would take Gainwell over Calvin Austin and Roman Wilson if it's me. Just my thoughts on that. Past that, I don't see any other Steeler that has offensive Steeler that has a whole bunch of value. Scotty Miller, probably not. Skoranek, definitely not. Like there are no other. Darnell Washington, we mentioned him. Kind of last resort tight end. Maybe have him on your bench. But yeah, so as far as the offensive skill players, I think we've addressed each one of them that has any type of fantasy football value from the Pittsburgh Steelers. Now I'll talk about the defense because, like I said, me and Tim discussed a minute ago. I did draft the Steelers defense. I wanted the Steelers defense, which is why I drafted them kind of early for a defense. Like I said, I believe the 6th round. Because defense is so impactful in our league. You get points for, you think you get like 3 points per sack, 3 points per interception, holding teams under yardage, under a certain amount of points scored. I have seen defenses in our league score upwards of 40 to high 50 points, depending on if they have a killer day. Shout out Jaime. What up, Jaime? Yo to you, man. Thanks for tapping in real quick for this lunch break with Tate. Real quick, we're talking about fantasy football and the Steeler players that have some fantasy football value. Right now, I'm talking about the defense. But I expect the Steelers defense to make a lot of splash. I think they'll be better against the run this year. I think their sack and blitz numbers go up. Another point contributor in our league as far as splash plays. Like I said, sacks, turnovers, interceptions, tackles for loss, all those things equal points. So I really wanted a defense that was going to create splash more so than just be a solid defense, right? Because there are solid defenses out there that are really good defenses that don't create splash, that don't get sacks, that don't cause turnovers. It's one thing the Steelers have done over the past few years. I believe they led the NFL in turnovers last year, but we saw what they looked like against the run too. So, it's kind of like a catch-22, damn if you do, damn if you don't. And I had them last. I think I've had the Steelers defense for the last 3 or 4 years because I believe in the defensive vision of Mike Tomlin and Terrell Austin now, but formerly Keith Butler, to be, and they played passive the past couple of years. I think this year they'll be more back to an aggressive attacking personality with those corners they have. Excuse me, Jalen Ramsey, JPJ, Slay, big play Slay. I think those guys will be able to play a lot of man coverage. We'll see a lot of mixing it up, a lot of different blitzes from different positions on the field and stuff like that. So I'm expecting a lot of splash. I think it's huge value in the Steelers' fantasy football defense. I think there'll be a top 5 defense in fantasy football as far as points scored. I expect them to be a top 5 defense in way of overall defense in the NFL rankings this year also. I think they'll be really good. Individual defensive players, again, defenses get points for sacks, therefore players get points for sacks. Like that 3 points the defense gets per sack, if TJ Watt gets the sacks, he gets 3 points. TJ Watt has a 3-sack game, 9 points from TJ Watt, not to count any tackles or pass breakups and stuff like that. So, again, opportunities. TJ has opportunities to make big plays. I thought about Peyton Wilson and Patrick Queen because they play the middle. They'll be freed up by the defensive line play. Cam Hayward, Benton, Harmon when he's healthy, Y.A. Black, keeping those guys clean, getting a lot of tackles. In our league is 1 point for solo tackle, half a point for an assisted tackle. So, those tackles can build up to points. It's consistent points, but you don't necessarily see the big splash play ability from the middle linebacker position. Though this year the Steelers could be sending pressure up the middle, blitzing their linebackers, both Wilson and Patrick Queen. So I like that too. But right now I'm rolling with TJ. I figure I give TJ to the bye to see what he's doing. If he's not living up to expectations as far as what I need from my individual defensive player, I'll probably try and trade him in for somebody else, maybe one of those guys. So, that's how I see the defense. I'm pretty much have discussed what I want to discuss as it relates to fantasy football options for the Steelers and the defense. So right now, real quick, I'll share my fantasy football team with you, my team. What if I give you all of us guys' teams as far as the guys you see on here, myself, Mod, Big G, Pay, and B Dirt. Let me share those guys' teams with you. Let's go to, since they're not here, we'll go with Pay and B Dirt's team first. This is B Dirt's team. The Wee Boys, the White Boys of the Year is the name of B Dirt's team. I'll tell you Mod's team too. Forgot he's obviously on here. B Dirt, quarterback, Baker Mayfield, running backs Christian McCaffrey, Aaron Jones for the Minnesota Vikings, Amon-Ra St. Brown, wide receiver, Lad McConkey, wide receiver, Chargers, George Kittle is his tight end for the 49ers. So, I'm leaning on Raiders. B Dirt's leaning on 49ers. He has McCaffrey and Kittle. DK Metcalf in his flex. Evan McPherson is his kicker, Bengals kicker. And he has the Chargers defense. His defensive players, Chargers linebacker, Darian Henley. On his bench, backup quarterback, J.J. McCarthy. He picked up the running back, Brian Robinson, who just was traded for the 49ers, from the 49ers, to the 49ers from the Commanders. I like that. I like running backs in San Francisco system. So he probably picked him up because he drafted Christian McCaffrey as McCaffrey's backup. He has sitting and waiting. Well, he has Ramondre Stevenson, running back for the Patriots, who I believe will share carries with rookie out of Ohio State, Travion Henderson up in New England. He has Jordan Addison, wide receiver, Minnesota Vikings, who's on suspended the first 3 games, I believe. But he'll be back. He'll be another weapon at B Dirt's disposal. We're looking at Emeka Buka, has him as a receiver. He's receiver heavy, B Dirt is. I'm seeing that now. Ricky Parasol, wide receiver, San Francisco 49ers, a rookie last year out of Florida. He's the kid that got shot during a robbery attempt, but he came back and he's doing good. And Isaiah Likely is his second tight end. So Kittle and Likely, I like both his tight ends. Good team, B Dirt. I like that a lot. Okay, let's tell you Pay's team. Pay's team is the frustrated Chicago. Here's a homer for you. Pay's quarterbacks Caleb Williams. Running back Tony Pollard, Tennessee Titans. Uh, running back rookie RJ Harvey, Denver Broncos. Meh. Wide receiver Puka Nakua, I like that. Wide receiver Malik Neighbors, New York Giants. I like that. Tight end, is it Trey McBride? I think he's one of the top 3 ranked tight ends. Arizona Cardinals, like that. Jackson Smith and Jigba in his flex position, wide receiver for the Seattle Seahawks. His kicker is Bates out of Detroit. And why he has the Bengals defense? Maybe because he's doing matchup, I'm guessing. They play the Browns first week. I don't know how much we expect from the Browns offense, but that has to be the only reason he has the Bengals defense right now. Roquan Smith is his defensive player, middle linebacker, Baltimore Raven. On Pay's bench, J.K. Dobbins, Trevor Etienne, the little brother of Travis, rookie that plays for Carolina Panthers. Projected to have 2.5 points this week. Don't expect a lot from him, but you never know. Sometimes you draft these guys early and keep them on your bench, and then they get opportunity as the season goes on, and it can turn into be a good look. Rasheed White, running back, Tampa Bay. He's their guy behind Bucky Ingram, but it's really good in the pass game. Gets his share of opportunities. Wide receiver, Rome Odunze. I like Rome Odunze. I think he can see what Rome does and turn that into a stack with his quarterback, Caleb Williams. Uh, Wide receiver, Isaac Tesla. Isaac Tesla. Detroit wide receiver, not really familiar with him. Projected to get 3.5 points this week. Minnesota Vikings defense is his backup defense. The Vikings are solid defense. I don't dislike that pick of the Minnesota's defense. I think they'll be good. They play Chicago. That's why he's not playing. He has a Viking. He don't want to play the Vikings defense against his team against Chicago. So I get it, Pay. See what you're doing there. So that's Pay's team. No backup quarterback. Right now, he has all his chips in on Caleb Williams, obviously. We'll see how that works for Pay. Let's go to Mod's team real quick. Mod's Men of Action is the name of Mod's team. Mod has I feel like a good team. Of course, Homer, Mr. Big Bias himself. Mod has Dak Prescott as his quarterback. Dak puts up good fantasy numbers when he's healthy. I think and he was second place MVP vote 2 years ago. So Dak is not as bad as we talk about he is. In the regular season, he's really good. It's in the playoffs where Dak runs into his problems. If he stays healthy, he's a great regular season quarterback. Mod's running backs, Kyron Williams, Rams, good pick. Kenneth Walker, Seahawks. Wide receivers, DJ Moore and CeeDee Lamb. CeeDee Lamb's an excellent pick. He has that stack with CD and Dak. I like that. I know he loves that. Gets to have both his guys and root for him for his fantasy football team. Dalton Kincaid is his tight end at Buffalo. Marvin Harrison is in the slot. His his flex position, but another wide receiver. Kicker, Tyler Bass, Buffalo. Buffalo's defense. And Trey Hendrickson of the Bengals is his defensive player. On Ma's bench, real quick. Excuse me, I'm sorry. Trevor Lawrence is backup quarterback. Is it DJ Giddens, rookie running back? Is this one of his backup running backs? Tyrone Tracy for the New York Giants. DJ Giddens, obviously the backup to Jonathan Taylor. Tyrone Tracy, I believe it's the Giants starter running back. He's a good receiver out the backfield. But I believe we'll see those like goal line, short yards opportunities and stuff like that. The guy's just gonna get it out the mud, score touchdowns. Cam Scatterboo, I see him taking food off Tracy's plate potentially. Javonte Williams, free agent pickup by Dallas Cowboys from the Broncos, is in Dallas. Is he RB1? I'm not sure. Dallas has a few running backs. They're just going to throw shit against the wall and see what sticks. So we'll see how that works. Marcus Golden, Matthew Golden, rookie wide receiver out of Texas. Number 1 pick by Green Bay. He'll play quite a bit. Green Bay has some injured receivers, so I expect a solid season from Matthew Golden. Rookie out of Texas. More bias from my Texas Longhorn. Christian Kirk is another receiver. Darnell Mooney. A lot of these guys are receiver heavy. Mod does have 5 running backs, but you don't know what you get. Giddens as a backup. We don't know what we can get for Javonte Williams and Tyrone Tracy. But overall, I feel like his starting lineup is a good team. Kyron Williams is nice. Kenneth Walker is going to share carries with Zach Charbonnet. So we'll see how that goes. But overall, good team. It's Mod's men of action. Now we'll go my team and Big G's team. Big G first. Me and Big G played this week. He's projected to win. G's for dubs. Big G's team's name. Big G has Patrick Mahomes, quarterback. Saquon Barkley, running back. Bucky Irving, Tampa Bay, running back. Devontae Adams, wide receiver. Los Angeles Rams, a receiver. Xavier Worthy, wide receiver, Kansas City. Jonnu Smith, tight end, Pittsburgh. In his flex position, he has running back Travion Henderson, rookie out of The Ohio State University. In his flex position, kicker is Dicker the Kicker, the Los Angeles Chargers kicker. His defense is the Philadelphia Eagles. His defensive player is Zach Franklin, linebacker, Indianapolis Colts. Backup quarterback, Bo Nix. Backup running back, Tyler Algier. So looks like Big G just he has 4 running backs. Okay. 4 running backs. Jack Beck, rookie for the Raiders. I believe TCU is projected to get less than a point this week, half a point. Luther Burden, wide receiver, rookie out of Missouri for the Bears, projected to get 2.5 points. Xavier Legette, wide receiver out of Carolina Panthers, who they spent the first round pick on Tate McMillan, high up in the first round. I think he'll be the guy there, but they did trade Adam Thielen back to the Minnesota Vikings. So Legette can see an uptick in targets. Michael Pittman is another receiver. Jameson Williams for Detroit Lions is another receiver. So receiver heavy, no backup tight end. And his starting tight end, like I said, is Jonnu Smith. Okay, now we'll go to my team. We'll get ready to get out of here. Let's see. Shout out Val Ford has joined us. Kyle Seabird Audio. I have Josh Allen. Should I double flex? Shakur and Coleman. or should I play Jacoby Myers or Ollie Gordon? Hey, Kyle, man, them are some really, really good questions, man. And I'm gonna get to my team. And I have Coleman. I think Shakur is going into number one because he's the more veteran guy. But I think Josh Allen likes big targets. And with Coleman being like a 6'4", 6'5" guy, I think he has high red zone value. I think by the end of the season, he'll be the number one. I wouldn't start two. I'd pick between Shakur and Coleman. I think Buffalo wants to get the ball to the running back, Little Cook, James Cook. Yeah, Dalvin's little brother. James Cook, I think he's going to see the ball a lot. Then you got the two tight ends with Knox and the other one we just named, the rookie last year. I like Ollie Gordon. I got him on my bench also, but I'm not going to play him yet. But I think A-Chain is going to get hurt at some point. So I really like Ollie Gordon down there in Miami. They're going to be trying to slow games down, I think, this year, not play as fast. So I look for him to have a good rookie season. And I think A-Chain is kind of small frame, small build, big play potential, but he's not going to carry the load, right? He's not in between the tackles. He's big playability. So I do like Ollie Gordon. Not to start this week, to wait and see, but by week 3, week 4, I think that's when you can start playing Ollie Gordon. Baltimore has the Ravens this week, yeah. And so I think this is Kyle audio again. I think I go with Coleman. I have Coleman on my team. Maybe it's kind of biased, but I think it's that Raven secondary, those guys, I think Josh Allen will be looking for the big target. Ruben says he can't get into the fantasy football. Still, it's not for me. Yeah, fantasy football. Now, a lot of people do it now. It's not for everybody. I enjoy fantasy. I used to be in 2, 3 leagues easily every year, 1 year 4. Gets to be too much. Past couple years, last year and this year, my first year's only doing one, only doing our league. It just became too much. I was in a league at work, a league at my barbershop. Used to do all these different leagues, and I just want to put my team in, be done, watch the game. And I love when fantasy football starts. I love playing, but when the season's over with, like the end of the season, when there's still a couple games left, but playoffs are to come, far as regular season playoffs, not fantasy playoffs. I enjoy watching football again with no rooting interest, because sometimes you can get caught up like you might have a guy starting playing the Steelers, playing on my team. I don't want that guy to do good, but I kind of need him to get some numbers. And I hate rooting like that, man. It's much more comfortable when the season's over. You just can get back to watching football. But fantasy football is so fun, and it's typically for bragging rights amongst coworkers, amongst friends and family and stuff like that. That, man, you got to play. I think the safer play, Jacoby Myers. Wasn't he holding out? I like Jacoby Myers. I still go with Coleman. I think the aim with the Raiders is to run the ball heavily with Ashton Genty, and I think you're going to get Brock Bowers involved heavily in the passing game. I think if the Raiders saw Jacoby Myers like that, they would pay him. It would have been all that talk about him wanting traded and all that stuff like that. So though he's in the plans, I don't know how much he's in the plans. But so I like Coleman better than Jacoby Myers. It's got to be close as far as their projected points, I would imagine. Jacoby's probably projected a little more, but he's viewed as a number 1 wide receiver. But is he the number 1 option? I think with Buffalo, Shakur's number 1 receiver, but him and Coleman are close. Like Shakur might be like 12 points and Coleman might be like projected to get 10. I like Coleman better in the red zone. I think Josh Allen can throw it up and get him the ball. So again, I go Coleman. If you need to start 2, I go Myers and I go Coleman. I never want to like starting 2 on the same team. Steeler girl says she's so biased. I get it. It's easy to be biased because you want to root for your team. I mean, like I said, it gets to a point at the end of the season. It's a relief that fantasy's over with, and you look forward to it next year. No problem, Kyle. Appreciate you tapping in, man, joining us. I'll be back here next week, and maybe we'll just do the end of the broadcast about fantasy football questions. Seem to be quite a few good ones out here. Definitely appreciate it. Now, lastly, let's finish up with my team. This is my team, real quick. My team is if I can get it to pull up here. No Diddy on yourself, Tate. My team, my quarterback is Kyler Murray, running back Josh Jacobs, Ashton Genty. This where I struggle at because I didn't pick a wide receiver until I think the 5th round. My wide receivers are George Pickens, Dallas Cowboys, Keon Coleman, Buffalo Bills, tight end Brock Bowers. In my flex position right now, I have Omarion Hampton, rookie running back, the Chargers. I think Jim Harbaugh wants to run the ball, wants to protect Justin Herbert. Think they'll, he's a run guy anyway. He was at Stanford, at Michigan with the 49ers. I think Omarion Hampton could be a really, really good pick. But he's my flex position. Raiders kicker, Daniel Carlson is my kicker. Steeler defense, TJ Watt at my individual defensive player. On my bench, Justin Fields is my backup, and that's my preference. I like quarterbacks that get opportunity and get the hitting yards in the rush game. So I have Kyler Murray. Now, granted, I wait on the quarterback. I got Kyler Murray kind of late, but I felt like he was the best option at the time when I took a quarterback. And I made a trade for Justin Fields already. I had traded Jordan Love for Justin Fields again because I want, regardless of what quarterback I go with, I want that threat of big playability with their legs. So if they pass for 1 or 2 touchdowns but rush for 60 yards, additional 6 points, get a rushing touchdown, I like those hidden points in the quarterback that we don't necessarily account for all the time, but I like rushing quarterbacks. My backup running back, Zach Charbonnet, Seattle, backs up Kenneth Walker. Kenneth Walker's known to get hurt. Another backup running back, Jaylen Warren. Pittsburgh Steelers, he'll get opportunity. I don't know if I play him over any of the guys I got starting this week, and my 2 running back positions are my flex. Shout out to the chat journal, the big homie Afton in the building. Afton, what's up? How goes it, boo? Good to see you. Thanks for tapping in. My other backup running back is Ollie Gordon, Miami Dolphins. We talked about that briefly a little bit ago. I think A-Chain obviously is number 1. A-Chain's a big play waiting to happen. But A-Chain's a little fella, probably not even 200 pounds, fast. Get him involved in the screen game, get him involved in some zone running where he can get to the edge. But it's about durability with him. So I picked up Ollie Gordon, thinking that maybe if A-Chain gets hurt, they'll go Ollie Gordon or have a lot of value. Backup wide receivers, Jawan Jennings. I'm talking about receivers suck. So I said Coleman Pickens. Now we're talking Jawan Jennings and Cedric Tillman for the Browns. I'm suffering at wide receiver. Suffering big time. But yeah, I mean, I'm okay with it. I got good running backs, good tight ends. Because my backup tight end is Kyle Pitts. I think Kyle Pitts has a breakout year this year. I think new quarterback Michael Penix is on record the offseason saying he has to get Kyle Pitts more involved. Too much talent and not have him regularly involved in the passing game. I like the Falcons fantasy football players. Bijan Robinson was like number 1 pick in our league. Jamar Chase was number 2. I think Bijan will be used in the passing game. Obviously, we know they got Drake London, another big 6'5" receiver. Michael Penix can throw darts. And I like Kyle Pitts becoming more involved And Mooney out there out the slide on the other side, he'll eat too. So I like the Falcons. But yeah, Kyle Pitts is my backup tight end. So those are fantasy football teams for all us podcasters. They come at you from the know-it-alls, Frustrated Chicago Sports Fans, Steel Curtain Network, the Dallas Cowboys, DCL for Life, Mod's Dallas Cowboy Podcast. Check all this stuff out. Rock with us. We certainly appreciate it. Appreciate everybody. We're finally getting close to that 1,000. We don't want to stop at 1,000. 1,000 is the first stop on the destination, the first goal. We want to get there, but we want this thing to grow. You people are subscribers and family and live chat family. Everybody that rocks with us, share with friends, share with family, because we're here talking about football, talking about sports, but, we also have a lot of fun, a lot of laughs. I mean, anybody can engage and be involved in that. So we certainly appreciate each and every one of you, definitely. Thanks for joining us. Hey, thanks, Steeler Girl. I definitely appreciate you for tapping in. Thank you. And yeah, so tonight we got a couple shows jumping off. Myself and Big G with the homie Curb will be on the Smash the Gas podcast tonight. We'll talk about the Jets-Steelers matchup this week. Smash the Gas in the Streets drive-by. We'll talk about that game this week. And then after that, as Big G like to say, going to kick Kirby out the car. I guess Curb don't got no seatbelt on. Curb must be in the front seat as Big G just tossed him. I don't know. But then we'll go to the Pump Your Brakes podcast. That's with myself, Shannon, Triple OG Shannon. And we talked about that last week. That's last week's. Okay, I don't have this week's. But okay, we got a show this week. Pump Your Brakes. Be sure to tap in and check it out tonight at 8:05 on the Know It Alls channel or the Steel Curtain Network. Smash the Gas you'll find exclusively on the Know It Alls channel. So tap in, rock with us. We'll be here from 7:15 to 9 o'clock tonight with one of the two shows, with both of the shows, but tap in for one, tap in for both, but tap in. We certainly appreciate you. And until we see you tonight, until this Tate strong take for next week, I don't know what y'all think about my cover, man. You got buff Tate there. Big G said my thumbnail for the show was zesty. He called it zesty. So shout out to the homie Big G, Mod, Pay B Dirt, everybody out there, Tim Lyons, everybody that rock with the Know It Alls crew. We certainly appreciate you. And with that being said, until later on this evening, we're gonna get on out of here. Peace.
Let's go.
Mamba out.
Y'all come back now. Here